Hi, Con. How are you?
I'm very well, Rachel. How are you?
I'm doing great. To start, so you've now joined the canon of I guess my favorite thing in TV is when people sing "La Rose" because I loved when it happened in How I Met Your Mother, and now it happened in Our Flag Means Death, and I was crying through both times. And so getting to kind of have, those emotional moments that I didn't even care that that song didn't even exist. I was just happy it was happening. So getting to have, those moments where you have those emotional kind of songs and journeys on a show that is outrageous and fun and quirky. What for you as an actor is the joy of getting to, get to dive into something like that with a character like Izzy Hands that has had such a kind of arc, especially in season two.
I mean, I knew he was going to go on a journey in season two because David had told me, and I will be eternally grateful to him and his uh, brilliant writers because they didn't sentimental didn't make it sentimental. They didn't suddenly turn him overnight. They gave him a journey that I could work through emotionally and not feel like I was jumping ahead of myself or I was having to cheat. Um, the song itself, had you asked me for a song for Izzy to sing, I would never ever have picked La Violence. And now I can't think of any other song Izzy should sing. So again, that's down to David, and also to all those people, my partner and uh, Jenna, who's a friend of mine who just played PF in London, who helped me learn the French, which was excruciating for everyone involved.
Well, I did. I when I interviewed David, I said to him, I was like, "You should be in jail for making me like care so much about Izzy Hands throughout this whole season, and then just put me in so much pain by the end because it was just such a beautiful arc from beginning to end this season." And I can only imagine, like as an actor, the joy of kind of getting to dive into something that kind of rich because it
Yeah,
is.
it was joyful, but it was incredibly lonely.
Mhm.
Um, I found myself spending a lot of time on my own. A, because a lot of the scenes are on my own, and B, um, if I wasn't filming, I was learning how to walk in that fucking leg, or I was sword training, or I was working out, or I was learning French, or I was recording it was a very solitary experience doing this season. And I I loved every minute of the work, but it was challenging on a whole other level that I didn't really think about until I found myself in the middle of it. And yeah, I'm glad we did it, and I'm glad we respected the character that we created in season one.
And it is I really enjoyed because I think Taika's performance as Blackbeard especially, I love how kind of different it is because I'm a big fan of his work in general, but I do think it's very different from everything that I've seen from him. And I love the dynamic between Blackbeard and Izzy because that is something that I think as much as Steed and Blackbeard drive the show without Izzy's love for Blackbeard, I don't
Yeah,
necessarily think that relationship would be as strong as it is. And when you guys kind of have the arc you do in season two, so cool to kind of, have that final moment that we end up getting throughout in this show where for you two as actors to kind of, in a comedy, get to have that emotional, like sobbing moment. What do you like? You're comedians, but you're crying, like having this kind of death scene on a beach. What is it for you two as actors and friends to kind of like come to that moment where you're like, hey, we're still actors at the end of the day, but we're gonna be sobbing on a beach over these two characters.
you know what we the I love working with Taika. I love acting with Taika. Taika is a world-renowned Oscar-winning writer, director, actor, but he doesn't nearly get the plaudits he deserves as an actor. And the death scene in particular, I was dreading it because it's massive, and we were going to shoot it in the last week, at the start of the week, then the middle of the week, then the last day was going to be the morning of the last day, and then it was ended up being the last thing we shot in the entire show. And when you're filming something like that on the ship with hundreds of crew and the whole cast, and we're getting towards the end of the day, and there's a lot of energy. Uh, and then suddenly it was just me and him. And if he hadn't have given that to me, I was fucked.
Hmm.
But he just held me in it, and everything else disappeared. And we just trust the writing, and we just do it. And he's a fucking awesome scene partner. And
Yeah.
it's, there's a lot of good actors in that show, a lot of fucking great actors. But in that moment, I've never felt more collaborative and more trusted and more held than I have in probably my entire career.
Yeah, and you said collaborative. A show like this is kind of the joy of it is that there are so many characters and it is such a collaborative show as a whole. And I think that's why fans love it as much as we do because it's such a family unit. And for you as an actor, what is the kind of draw for you to a show like that that is so much a group of like actors and comedians that are all kind of together, all on set, working as a unit?
I'm a sporting actor. It's what I do. I like to work with an ensemble. It's how I um, do my best work. And the cast are sharp, witty, intelligent, and also wonderful actors. So it's a no brainer for me. But also the show's about love, and we're and it's about queer love, and it's a show we should have been making a long time ago. It's a show that appreciates its audience, and it's a show that is kind, and none of our violence in our show is ever aimed at anyone for their gender or their sexuality. And we should be making queer shows like this more.
Mhm.
And that's what drew me to it. And when I was on set when the boys in the first season when they filmed the "You Were Fine Things" scene, and I watched it being shot, and the beautiful performances and the beautiful dialogue and the way that it was being shot was exquisite. And I suddenly realised not only were we in this pirate show, but we were also in a romantic queer love story that wasn't going to not be romantic. And I thought, there we are. That's it. That's what people are going to plug into.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking with me. This show means so much to me and people that I know and love. So thank you for talking with me. And I
My
want
pleasure.
more seasons of it. I love it so, so, so much.
Thank you so much, Rich.
You have a great one.
Take care. Bye bye.